What's up, guys? Mickle here, and the SEC was out in full force today talking about how they are going to regulate the cryptocurrency market going forward. Gary Gensler and Hester Peirce both gave speeches talking about how we should know which crypto tokens are securities and which ones are not. Guys, in this video, I want to break down the most important things Gary Gensler and Hester Peirce said in their respective speeches, because I think it's going to give us a lot of insight on what the SEC's thinking is towards this market going forward. Now, we're going to be calling out the SEC for some absurd things they said in this speech, but most importantly, we're going to take the most important parts of the things they said, really break it down, and take a look at what this cryptocurrency market is looking like going forward alongside the SEC. Also, guys, make sure to stick around till the end of the video, because we have an update on Hester Peirce's safe harbor bill. Where is that? Is that thing ever going to come out? Make sure to stick around till the end of the video to see that. You're not going to want to miss it. Like always, guys, if you are new to this channel or come here all the time, please take a second to hit the like and subscribe button down below. It goes such a long way in helping this channel grow, and it really does mean so much to me. If you guys are ever looking for a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out the link for Uphold down in the description below. Uphold is one of my favorite exchanges and a great place to buy and sell XRP. With that said though, let's jump right into the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. Real quick, guys, MOO-MOO is slowly becoming one of my favorite places to buy and sell stocks. MOO-MOO is a regulated exchange with a great interface. MOO-MOO is also running an awesome promotion this month where if you sign up with MOO-MOO using the link in the description of this video, you could win 13 free stocks. Most importantly, though, each one of these stocks could be worth up to $3,000. So, guys, do not miss out on that and go sign up with MOO-MOO now. So, guys, I thought I'd start this video out with one of the most absurd things Gary Gensler said in his speech, because when Gary Gensler said this, I honestly could not believe it. Gary Gensler said no honest business should fear the SEC, and to that, I said LOL. Guys, it's so funny that Gary Gensler is so out of touch with what is happening in the cryptocurrency market. Almost every single project in the United States is living in complete fear of the SEC, and these different crypto projects, most of them are not doing anything wrong. The SEC attacks projects without giving them any clear understanding of why they're being attacked, sends the SEC lawyers after them, and makes these different projects spend hundreds of millions of dollars trying to protect themselves. The SEC has done nothing to provide clear guidance that these different projects could follow, so these different projects are living in constant fear of the SEC one day knocking on their door and draining their budgets of everything that they saved up to help their project grow into the future. Now, I thought one of the funniest things about this was that Library actually responded to this quote by Gary Gensler and said Gary Gensler is flat out lying. We came in voluntarily gave thousands of pages of info, and all the evidence was only used to sue us. Never given any single sentence of feedback or adjustments possible. The SEC is full of lying psychopaths. Trust none of them. And the funniest part about this is not only Library saying do not trust the SEC, we have multiple different lawyers in the XRP community and crypto lawyers in general, specifically telling their clients do not work with the SEC. What the SEC does is they act all nice on the surface. They say, come in and register, come in and talk to us, and we'll help you figure out how to run your business compliantly in the United States. But once you come in and talk to them, they trap you. They give you a whole bunch of different things that they want you to do that are unrealistic to meet. And then ultimately, when your project cannot meet these unachievable requirements, they sue you for everything you have. It's completely absurd, and the SEC trying to act like they're trying to do the right thing here is nothing short of a lie, and I think projects like Library could really attest to this. Now, there was a lot more said in this speech. Gary Gensler did admit that all crypto tokens are not securities, but the funny part is he refuses to give any guidance on which ones are and which ones are not. Gary Gensler said repeatedly that there are multiple tokens in the top 10 that are not securities, but he doesn't give any advice on which one of these are securities and which ones are not. Gary Gensler very likely thinks it's clear that Ethereum is not a security at this point, but the fact of the matter is, if Ethereum is not a security, then most other cryptocurrencies in the top 10 are not securities either. Gary Gensler refuses to give any logic for how he came across this conclusion, because he knows if he actually puts his logic out there, people will take it apart and apply it to different crypto tokens that they don't think are securities. Fact of the matter is the SEC messed up a long time ago when they gave Ethereum a free pass. They told the market that they did not see Ethereum as a security, but also gave a rationale on how they came to the conclusion that Ethereum was not a security. Now, the market was able to take this rationale and apply it to a bunch of different projects and say, hey, Ethereum has these attributes that make it not a security, so does this project, so therefore the SEC should not see this project as a security either. Well, the SEC is terrified of that happening again, and that's why they always refuse to give guidance on what they think is a security and what is not. They want it to be ambiguous because they want to go after specific projects. They want to be able to do whatever they want without being held to a certain standard on what they're allowed to go after. This is why the SEC is always so ambiguous. They want to have the choice, they want to be able to pick the winners and losers that they want and not have to follow specific guidelines that should be put in front of them by Congress. Now, I think one of the funniest things that the SEC did in this speech is they are once again trying to change the Howie Test. The SEC knows that the Howie Test does not encompass cryptocurrencies, and that's why they are desperately trying to warp the Howie Test into a completely new test. Attorney Bill put out on Twitter earlier today, wow, Gary Gensler stretches the third and fourth prongs of the Howie Test. It's not a reasonable expectation of profits based on the efforts of others. It's investing for a better future upon the efforts of others, and somehow getting information on Twitter and Reddit is part of the common enterprise. So that end part, Bill is actually making fun of something Gary Gensler said in his speech, where he was saying that a lot of these different people are getting their information from Twitter or Reddit. So Bill is essentially saying, how is this even part of a securities analysis? Why are you even bringing this up? But the important part is that Gary Gensler is trying to combine the third and fourth prong of the Howie Test because he knows the fourth prong actually kills the SEC's case for regulating cryptocurrencies. The SEC is desperately trying to subtly change the Howie analysis so they could have power over the cryptocurrency industry. They know by the typical securities laws or the securities laws we've been following for the last 100 years, cryptocurrencies do not follow under the SEC's jurisdiction. If they did, the SEC would not be desperately trying to combine the third and fourth prong because they wouldn't have to. Cryptocurrencies would just fall under the normal Howie Test. The SEC is trying to change the Howie Test because they know the Howie Test is going to kill their jurisdiction over cryptocurrencies. Now, I think the part that's really important here and the thing we need to understand is right now what we're watching is a desperation move by the SEC. The SEC sees Congress making legislation that's going to take a lot of power away from the SEC in terms of cryptocurrencies. Right now, the SEC essentially has unlimited power because they are not giving any guidelines. They're going around saying they think everything's a security because they have not been told yet by Congress what is a security and what is not. Until that happens, the SEC is going to keep trying to engage in overreach. They're going to try to gain as much market share of this crypto market as they possibly can because that's what they're incentivized to do. Until there's clear rules, Gary Gensler is a bureaucrat and he wants power. He's going to keep making very vague statements and keep attacking different crypto projects to try to gain more power over the cryptocurrency market. He already knows that Congress wants to strip most of this power away from the SEC, so for him, it's really a no-lose scenario. Worst comes to worst, he loses some cases and loses the power over the crypto industry, but it looks like that power is getting taken away anyway. The good news is, though, it doesn't really look like XRP is going to fall into this issue because it's really going to have its own destiny decided by the current Ripple SEC case, and in that case, Ripple's winning big, so I actually think this Ripple SEC case is going to end up being a benefit for XRP because it's kind of going to prevent Gary Gensler from really getting his hands on it. Now I want to move on and show you guys what I believe is one of the most disappointing stories in the cryptocurrency industry, and that is Hester Peirce. Hester Peirce seemed like she was going to be our savior for a while, but when you guys watch this clip by Hester Peirce, I think it's going to be hard not to be very disappointed. In this clip, Hester Peirce is talking about her safe harbor bill, and guys, it doesn't even sound like she's made any progress on this thing. It doesn't even seem like she thinks this thing will ever become a reality, and she can't even define the own terms that she uses in this bill. Listen up, and then we'll quickly break this down, but guys, I am very disappointed by this by Hester Peirce, because we really did need some leadership out of the SEC on providing clear crypto regulations, and it looks like Hester Peirce is perfectly on board with making everything just as confusing as it always has been. Listen up.
On what that means, but I don't even know that I'm able to really put a finger on it. And I'm curious how you and other regulators are thinking about this term and what it means, and how are we going to use it to properly regulate?
The term is decentralization.
I think that's the big question, and it's one that I think has stymied a lot of people. So the staff at the SEC put out a guidance document that had some factors people could take into consideration for whether something's decentralized. But that was a really lengthy list without any suggestion of how you weight the different factors. And so I think we have to take a step back and say, all right, what is it we're trying to address here? And the purpose of applying the securities laws for people who want to apply the securities laws to all of these transactions.
Real quick, take a step back. Come on. Can we take a step forward, please?
Is they're trying to address the information asymmetry. So the development team has a lot of information, and people who are purchasing those tokens probably want to know that information. What are your plans for the project? What are you planning to do? Who's the development team behind it? How many tokens are there going to be out there? Those kinds of things. And so the real question you're trying to get at with decentralization is, when is that development team not critical to the ongoing success of the project? When could that development team walk away and it wouldn't matter? And so I think that the types of things we're looking for are indicia of a separation between the development team and the network. The network is kind of on its own and functioning on its own. I mean, those are tricky questions. And so I think even in a reissued safe harbor, I'm not going to have a beautiful roadmap to assess what decentralized means, though I'm certainly going to welcome input. If you think that something like that can actually be created, if I could come up with a top 10 list of what people need to think about, I'm certainly open to it. But so far, the people I've talked to have all said, yeah, it's kind of a difficult thing to assess.
So Hester Peirce is working on a bill that focuses on decentralization, and one of the constructs for whether something's a security or not. She's literally telling us she doesn't even know what decentralization means. Guys, it is so absurd. I don't know why she's still working on this thing. Like, just go through the top 10 list of cryptocurrencies trading and tell us which ones are securities and which ones are not, and then apply that logic to every other crypto token. It's really not that hard, and the fact that Hester Peirce is just still working on this dumb safe harbor bill, guys, a safe harbor bill is never gonna work. Crypto securities should be registered with the SEC. They should not have a safe harbor. Non-crypto securities should not register with the SEC. There's no need for a safe harbor. It's really not that complicated, and the fact that Hester Peirce still can't even define what decentralized means, I think is a very bad sign for this bill, and I really hope she just drops it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. It really does mean so much, and for now, Mickle out.